YouTube buddies? Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking us out. I want to ask you something. What makes you decide you're going to watch the show? Is it the thumbnail? Is it the title? Are you just watching all the time no matter what? I'm curious about that. If you let me know, that'd be great. Today, good show. MegaPhos. Carl Gorka was here just a little while ago and explained about MegaPhos to us. He had a big chart and everything, but this stuff's complicated, and I think he had a pretty good handle on it, but I was more interested in finding out more about it, and so I got hooked up with James Kowalski, who is one of the Kowalski brothers of Blacksmith Bioscience, the founders. I think they're the founders of the company. They run the company, they invent this stuff, they do the whole thing. Anyway, I got James on the big TV screen and did a little interview with him, so that's what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you that interview with James. We talked about MegaPhos. We talked about Armory, Nitrix, No Fly. I don't have any here. About their whole product line. It's pretty interesting. We got pretty in-depth. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's all good stuff. So watch that, and I'll talk to you after. Hey there, Bob here with James Kowalski. We talked about MegaPhos with Carl a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. But James Kowalski, you're the guy, right? You made this stuff.
Yep.
So we're going to get it from the horse's mouth about what this is. So what is MegaPhos?
Well, MegaPhos is basically a very specific bacillus blend. It's a Megatherium strain that was picked out of many contestants basically for its phosphorus solubilization properties. Basically, a Bacillus megatherium is a very large bacteria. It's probably one of the largest bacteria actually in size. But one of the cool things about is all the different modes of action that it has that actually does break down different metals in the soil that release phosphorus, but also release the phosphorus directly through organic and inorganic acid production. So,
wow,
very multiple modes of action.
Okay, so what are we trying to do here with the MegaPhos? What's what's you trying to accomplish?
Well, the main thing with MegaPhos is what you want to do is you want to make sure that your plant has enough phosphorus. And
sure.
The reason why phosphorus is so important, especially in early plant life, is it basically is vital for the production of all the reproductive bits of the plant, to make sure it can make the flowers properly and therefore the fruits and the yield will be increased. It also gives you a lot of root strength, and if you have really strong roots, what you're going to have is a really healthy and vital plant.
Sure.
So your disease resistance capacity will go way up. And you'll have just a beautiful plant. So getting enough phosphorus in early stages of the plant, super important for those reasons. And then this will keep like a steady flow of phosphorus throughout the plant's life. It's a beautiful product. It was picked out of I think we had 35 different bacteria we were looking for, and we picked the one that we thought was the best performing. Not only for rapid release of phosphorus, but also a longer, slower release of phosphorus over a 7 to 15 day period as well.
Okay, so
root colonizing organism, so it gets into the root zone, and that's where it does most of the work. It helps to relieve technical difficulty. But it gets in the soil, and it basically releases the phosphorus several different ways. It produces a bunch of acids that will release it directly that are bound up. But it also releases a bunch of enzymes. And the enzymes, what they do is they'll do a complexing solubilization for metal ions that are in the soil that are binding the phosphorus. So by that I mean calcium ions that bind the phosphorus, or the aluminum ions that bind the phosphorus, or even the iron ions that bind the phosphorus. It basically dissolves those relationships so the phosphorus is then available. So lots of different modes of action for phosphorus release.
So we have lots of phosphorus in our soil most likely, but it's very reactive and it's binding up with stuff, and this is releasing that?
Yeah, basically your soil is about 0.05% of phosphorus.
Okay.
Not very much, but only 1/100% of that is available to the plant.
Oh.
Everything.
Okay.
All the phosphatic fertilizers that are added to the soil, because of the reactivity of soil with the different ions, metal ions, and different things, that it binds up literally 99.9% of the phosphorus.
Wow. Okay, so that's where we're running into a lot of our problems.
Yeah. So basically, adding adding phosphorus to the soil really isn't doing anything other than just polluting the soil with extra phosphorus.
Okay.
Build up.
All right.
When you add these solubilizing microbes, what they do is they take what's there in the soil and then make them naturally available to the plant.
Okay. So this would be helping the plant to be healthier, to fight disease and pests, helping the plant to be more prodigious to...
Yeah, basically, early on, very important for all the reproductive bits of the plant to get a good yield, and root strength. And root strength is equal to plant vitality, which plant vitality is equal to disease resistance capacity. So basically, make sure that you have plenty of phosphorus in your plant, especially in the first bit of its life cycle.
So would you say this would also be helping the plant to be healthier, do more, express more of its genetics, that sort of thing, for quality of produce, or more so just about... Really? So it's kind of an all-around kind of thing. Now, a lot of people are using other microbial type products, and I think lately there's been this kind of thing of like, there was this kind of saying that, more diversity is better, but we're getting to this point, I think, where there's so much stuff that people have been wondering, are these things competing with each other? So I guess I'm wondering with this, is how does it work? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh boy. We're going to get him back on here. Give me a second.
I don't take any credit for that.
No worries.
I don't know how to turn my phone off, and it went right to my phone.
Oh, jeez. It still says you're paused here.
All right, hold on.
Okay. There we go.
Am I good?
Yeah, I think so. And I just kept rolling. We'll just keep going. So I guess what I was asking is how your product works with, if they're using other microbial type products or enzymatic products like maybe a SLF 100 or something like that.
Sure. Well, microbes, all these micro products out there, at least the ones that
sure.
they're all naturally occurring microbes. Right? There's nothing that they modify or split together. I mean, it's all naturally occurring. So what we're doing is we're taking these naturally occurring organisms that have these specific qualities that we're looking for, and we're putting an unnaturally high amount of them into the soil.
Right, okay.
Deep structure or whatever. And really what happens is with Blacksmith Bioscience, we like to focus on very specific strains. We don't like to say, here's 20 strains or whatever. We like to be specific.
Okay.
But regardless, in nature, everything's going to want to come to balance, right? So that's why there's that reapplication process that goes on with all these products.
The competition is somewhat natural because we're overpopulating.
Totally natural for them to naturally lower. Now, antagonism is different than just natural balance. So Megatherium product is not an antagonist to other organisms. It's not an antagonist to insects or mammals or aquatics or humans or anything like that. It's basically just a beneficial soil microbe that likes to sit in the soil, feed off the root exudates, produce the enzymes, produce the organic acids that help to make phosphorus available to the plant. So that's how it works. It doesn't produce a lot of enzymes that destroy, like chitin cell wall chitin or basically lyse the hypha fungus or anything like that. It's kind of a laid back bacteria that just likes to produce those acids. And one of the side benefits of the Megatherium is all those acid production that it's doing, it does naturally lower your pH a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so with all those inorganic and organic acids that it's producing, it does naturally lower your pH a little bit in your soil, which most people are looking for.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. To stabilize it, too.
That's the side benefit of it. That's one of the side benefits of it, for sure. And, of course, that disease resistance is always good.
Sure, yeah. So I guess you'd say that you can't speak to what their products do, but for the most part, yours is going to leave them alone and do its business and do its thing. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, this one plays well with others. I don't really foresee any problems with other naturally occurring organisms. Obviously you don't want to tank mix it with like a chlorinated water, or because it is a natural thing. So you want to stay away from chlorine. You want to stay away from sterilants for sure. But other than that, it'll play well with just about everything.
Okay. Well, let me ask you that. I'll get back on track here in a minute. But chlorine, when people have chlorinated or chloramine in their water, what can they do to avoid that if they're using bacterial type products, microbial products?
They have a little bit of time.
Uh-huh.
The least expensive and easiest way is to fill up your spray rig or plug your whatever you're going to be mixing in, and let the chlorine off gas.
Okay.
The chlorine will off gas in a couple hours.
Okay.
Just leave the tank open.
Okay.
But they make dechlorinators. I mean, Microblade makes a dechlorinator that's like literally a drop per.
That's where I'm going with this whole thing. I've had some controversy about that, and I think it's controversy through ignorance, not that people are stupid, but that they just don't know. How do you feel about the Microblade dechlorinator as a product?
Well, basically, the dechlorinator is the reverse of what we're talking about here, right? So what you're doing is you're dropping this. And it works great. I mean, basically, you put it in the water, and it binds all the chlorine and makes it unavailable.
Okay. It's still there. It's just all bound up to where it's not available to attack your microbes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just binds it so it can't do anything. And it's like almost instantaneous. I mean, once it goes into the solution of the water, it binds it up to chlorine and makes it basically inert. So
cool.
Yeah.
So I've been wondering about that for a bit.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's a great product for real fast. Make sure you don't have any chlorine. Yeah, that's a good product.
Well, let me get back on track then. The other thing I wanted to ask you is I've got some nitrics here and some armory, and then obviously we have the no-fly. How does your product line fit together with itself? Would you be using all of them? How do they work together?
Well, we offer like a feed chart that does utilize pretty much all the products. It does utilize all the products. All the products have slight overlay.
Okay.
That, I mean, like that megatherium, yes, that's main function of that is the phosphorus availability. But it does some of those other things too. Like it does help to make nitrogen more available as well, and it does help to break down some of those other minerals like iron and calcium and whatever in the soil.
Okay.
But that mainly we say that's for phosphorus solubilization. The nitrix is for nitrogen availability from the air. So basically it helps to take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it to a usable source for the plant.
Okay.
Armory basically is the whole everything. Basically, you have 4 very specific high concentration bacillus strains that we took a long time to pick. They're all well-researched products with a lot of disease resistance qualities and plant health benefits. With the streptomyces we have added in there too, that we have now going to be on the new labels that are coming out.
Okay.
So basically that's why it's called the Armory, because it's pretty much everything. And that is really more for like so much plant vitality that you don't need chemical fungicides. That's
wow. Okay.
Help reduce or eliminate the need for chemical fungicides. That's the whole Armory thing. So that's what that product niche is. Now the no-fly obviously
specific.
I use that as basically it can live in the soil for a long time. You only need like the top half-inch treated with the no-fly because the fungus will stay there, and then any soil insects have to crawl through that layer. If they get a spore on them, they're going to die. That's the way it works. The spore lands on the insect. It says, "Hey, this is a host insect," and then burrows through it, drops spores inside, gets in the
game over.
And then, so cool. It takes about 3 to 5 days for that, but it's
okay. Well,
it's great. We've had some great, some really, really good response from people out there. The label says a variety of bugs, but it doesn't say all of the bugs. But I've said people call me and said they've had good luck with russet and rod and spider mites.
Wow.
So we're going to move forward with testing that still, but it's a good product. Outside of the soil application, you really need to see the insects because it is a contact kill. You do need to get the spores onto the insects.
So would you use the no-fly prophylactically, or would you only use it when you have some sort of signs of it?
I would use it as a maintenance for all your soil, whether it's the plant itself or if you have a protected growing area that has a soil floor. I would spray the floors. I would spray them, because what it's going to do is that will be a preventative for you. It will stay in that soil, and it will persist there for a long time.
Okay.
But when you do start to see the insects in the air or on the plant itself, then that's when you want to actually apply to the insect itself. Okay. So it's important to do that.
Okay. So if I was new to the Blacksmith line, would I start with the Armory or jump right into the MegaPhos, the nitrix for certain situations, or how would you introduce someone to Blacksmith?
Well, Blacksmith, our proprietary products are the Armory, the nitrix, the no-fly, the MegaPhos. We do also carry that dual trichoderma fungicide from Italy called Tenet. And we have an amino acid product called Tamarack. But what basically what you have is you have labeled fungicide in Tenet, labeled insecticide in No Fly, and all the other things are really biofertility, biostimulant,
growth enhancing, health enhancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically, from week one all the way through the final week, you can use any of the products.
Okay.
Any of them are totally okay to use. It's low doses. I mean, there's no heavy doses of any of these things. I mean, the MegaPhos is 1/16 of a teaspoon.
Yeah, it's something else. We're having to actually order those in for people.
Yeah,
the small teaspoons.
I was doing the math with my brother after there was a slight discrepancy on our initial label. I was like, it's literally 1/16 of.
Wow.
So, like even if you went like 4 gallons, you'd be like 14 for 4 gallons, But it goes a long way. Is my point.
Yeah.
You can put, and basically with these products is you're gonna get probably 7 to 15 days with that lower rate.
Okay.
7 to 15 days. But if you go a little heavier, you can go a little longer. But that's the beauty of these products. You can't add too much. That's another thing. Any of our products, they're all natural products. You can't really add too much.
Okay.
The production of the production of the acids and the production of the enzymes, especially the enzymes, it all is dictated by the relationship between the plant and the organism itself.
Okay.
The organism is not going to come in there and just start pumping out stuff that the plant doesn't need because it relies on the plant for its food. So it's a very symbiotic relationship.
So, can you be too early or too late using any of these things? I mean, like you've planted a seed, is that too early? You're in flower, is that too late? Is there a cutoff for using these?
There's really no cutoff. I mean, the nitrogen, some people might want to lay off of it towards the end.
Sure.
Trying to get away from the nitrogen.
Yeah.
And so you might want to use the nitrix through the nitrogen heavy section of growing and then just kind of lay off that.
Okay.
The armory you can use all the way through. I mean, it can be used at any point during the growing cycle. Same with Tenet. The Tamarack really is a specialty product that should be used. It should be used early as a tank mix partner because it does accelerate the germination and the percentage of germination and the overall of any microbe you use. Really, it's a great product for composting and all kinds of things or what you're trying to do is really turbocharge or stimulate your microbe population. It's a great product for that. But like I said, nitrix only in the nitrogen heavy areas.
Right.
MegaPhos, I would say more early.
Okay.
Once you get after a couple weeks into flower, I don't really know. I mean, all your sexual organs are in place.
Right.
The structure's pretty much there. I mean, you don't really want to just throw money away. So,
no.
You could probably lay off that MegaPhos there. But you really want to go with the armory for consistently, just for overall plant vitality and disease resistance capacity.
Okay.
And
so
and so that's the way I would do it.
Okay. So the MegaPhos, the MegaPhos, the nitrix are somewhat cycle specific, but the armory is an all the way through situation.
Yes.
Okay. And then do you do these foliar? Any of them foliar? Are they root drenched, or how does that work?
Well, the MegaPhos you can apply any different way. I prefer. I mean, obviously with the MegaPhos and the nitrix both. I mean, obviously you want to get it to the root zone. That's
Sure.
the same thing.
Sure.
Now there is some disease resistance capacity benefits for spraying it foliarly, but I would, for the main function of these organisms, they need to be in the root zone.
Okay.
So that's where you want it to
Sure.
be. Even if it's in a soilless environment where you just have a recirculation, that's where you want it to be, just going around the root. And they will colonize the roots, so it's a good thing.
So almost exclusively that.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of people spray nitrix foliarly with great results, and they love it that way. But really and truly, it also needs to be at least in the soil. MegaPhos for sure, soil.
Okay.
You let the MegaPhos in the soil.
Sure.
We do have foliar applications on there because I said that your disease resistance capacity is always important. So anything that can help that, where you don't have to use chemicals or any kind of fungicides or something like that, then it's a good thing for growers.
Okay.
But yeah, armory, foliar, soil, Either way, it's fine.
Okay, and then
I would say both for sure.
all right, and then the no-fly.
No fly, like I said, you want to do the soil as a preventative, like a maintenance,
right?
Just one-time application early, right when your soil's prepped, put it on there, and then when you see insects is when you spray the canopy and make sure you hit the insects. It's very important to hit the insects.
Okay, and then I use Nectar for the Gods. A lot of our audience does too, and we feed with that pretty much daily for a lot of us. Can we mix up our Nectar for the Gods, pH that, and then put this in with that? Or do we have...
That would be great.
Okay, so that's not a problem. Or we could do it on its own.
It'd be helpful for the organisms, because I'm sure there's all kinds of goodies in there that our organisms would love to metabolize and help to stimulate.
Well, sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, very cool. I think we've taken way too much of your time. You were this was very extensive, so I really appreciate it. You're coming out in June, right?
I am, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll have you here. We'll do some more stuff then, and also people will be able to meet you in person and ask you some questions. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so that was fun. I sure appreciate James coming on and taking the time to talk with us. I hope you enjoyed it too. That's the show for today. That's it. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM.com. And if you buy anything while you're there, use the code OCGFAM2018. It's going to save you 20%, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The OCGFAM Show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCGFAM Show. See you tomorrow.